Boom. Hey, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Unspecified Podcast, guys. Wow. Okay, it's a late episode. I just want to throw that out there. We've had a busy weekend, having a good time with friends and family. I pray that you guys have as well. Look, a lot is going on, okay? We have a ultimatum. We have a lot of information to go through in this show, so buckle up, okay? And make sure that you click that link in the description. Follow us over on Rumble, okay? Because there's, like, the last time we did this, last podcast, there was literally another 2 hours that you missed if you're not following us over on Rumble or X. So if you're over on X or you're over on Rumble, you're ahead of the game. I suggest you get over there and follow us on Rumble. Make sure you follow us at the end of this. The stream on YouTube will end. I'm just putting that out there now. What's up, Ion? Good to see you, brother. The YouTube stream will end. We're going to go over to Rumble. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty, okay, so that we can have a rounder view with an open mind. Okay, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and rulers of wickedness in high places. Like I said, there's a ton to get into. It's getting spicy. It's definitely sketchy. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, thank you so much for showing up and clicking on today's video. All right, if you'd like to help, guys, remember, grab this URL. Drop us in a Discord chat somewhere. Drop us in a friend group chat somewhere. Now's the time. Folks need to be paying attention to this, and it's like no one's paying attention. It's a big deal, okay? We got to get the word out, okay? Make sure you guys smack the share button, okay? Share it out. Give us smack like if you think we earn it by the end of the show, okay? There's a ton of information to go through here. I apologize for it being late. It's probably going to go long, so buckle up, okay? But there is a ton of information to get into here. It's pertinent. We got to do it, all right? And, of course, I'd love to just, it's too much. It's too late. We got to get into it, guys. So my apologies. Let's go ahead and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we've got a ton to get into. I'm going to start off here with a clip with Benjamin Netanyahu calling for the beginning of a world war in the name of international safety, of course. And I know it sounds like the nitty-gritty, right? No time to sleep. That's exactly right, my brother. You get it. You're getting it. Golf and Guns, the Lone Silencer. Good to see you, brothers. Dopey Dude, what's up? What's up? Good to see you guys, man. I hope I'm not missing anybody, man. Okay. Let's go ahead and just jump into this clip. We'll get into more of the nitty-gritty in the Rumble section. Like I was saying earlier, this live stream on YouTube will end, but we will continue on Rumble, okay? A whole nother show, so we don't want you to miss out, to get a round understanding. And look, let's just go ahead and get into this clip because we got a ton to get into, guys, and not a lot of time to do it. Let's go over here. All right. He says some nations are already moving in that direction, but it is still not enough, Benjamin Netanyahu.
This regime that threatens the entire world has to be stopped. Israel and the United States are working together for the entire world. And it's time to see the leaders of the rest of the countries join up. I'm happy to say that I can see some of them beginning to move in that direction, but more is needed. President Trump's call to have the international community confront this terrorist fanatic regime of zealots, that is a call not only for the security of America and the security of Israel, it's for the security of the entire world. And it's time for them to act. This regime.
Brisket One, what's up, brother? Good to see you over there on the Rumble chat, man. I appreciate you joining us over there. And look, just to help with the framework here, the whole story you might be able to put together and understand more of why, if you care about why, what's going on with all this, what's the big deal, follow us over on Rumble, and I promise you it will start to put it together for you. Not in hate, but in love, okay? So make sure that you're following over on Rumble after this stream ends to help understand. See, like this clip here, if you're not understanding what's the big deal, a lot more will be explained in the Rumble section. Here we go. All right. Breaking, the Pentagon is officially planning to deploy U.S. ground forces into Iran. They are preparing options for trained and equipped soldiers and Marines to be sent in. A full-scale ground invasion is on the table.
Forces into Iran. This shortly after President Trump indicated that he was considering winding down military operations in the region after walking back his message of regime change.
I could tell you that our Pentagon, led by Secretary Hegseth and Chairman Dan Kane, are preparing, they're planning, they provide options of trained, in position and well-equipped soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines to the president for him to take the options as he sees necessary to achieve our objectives. So I would fully expect the Pentagon to be planning for all scenarios.
There's new reaction today to...
Okay. All right. It's all data points, guys. It's all data points. The whole stream is dots if you're here to connect it. So make sure you get your butt here and make sure you got the notification bell rang so that you get the notifications so that you can see all the clips so you can connect all the dots. Okay? Because it's all connected here. All right. Now, in the thumbnail, I have 24 hours left. In the title, it says, 24 hours left for Ultimatum. I'm sure a lot of you who are paying attention to the zeitgeist, your head's poked in, you already know what's on the table. You're aware, but for those of you who aren't, let's just get some context here, okay? This is from the Canadian Prepper. All right, let's hear what he has to say. 48 hours until SHTF, Trump, not clickbait.
This is your World War III emergency update. My friends, we may only have 45 hours before this house of cards begins to fall because Donald Trump just issued a shocking ultimatum to the Iranian government, even for his low standards. This is truly shocking. If he actually follows through with it, then this really is the beginning of the end of the world as we know it. Okay? So he has basically advised Iran that they need to cease in their blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, or else he is going to take down the entirety of that nation's power grid. And he didn't make any comments about distinguishing between civilian or military power systems, nor did he omit the possibility of targeting the Bushehr nuclear power plant within that country. Now, the Iranians, you would think that that might have shooken their resolve. Not one bit. In fact, they've pushed back even more aggressively. They have stated that if Trump does what he plans on doing in the next 45 hours, I guess, because it was about 3 hours ago when he made.
This was from yesterday, basically. So we have 24 hours left, or roughly, okay, maybe a little less, before we see what this ultimatum is going to do. I would suspect, my worst case scenario is like a nuke is going to be involved, right? And that's very sketchy words. I don't like speaking like that or to be hyperbolic or fear-mongering. That's not what I'm doing, guys. We're hypothetically pontificating, okay? We got brains. The Lord gave us thinkers, and that's what we can do. We can think, okay? Most likely, the ultimatum is going to be some sort of ground invasion or taking of the Karg Island. I'm not exactly sure. Some sort of kinetic reaction other than missiles, okay? But let's hear what he has to say.
The tweet, then they are going to take out systematically all of the desalination plants, all of the natural gas power plants, because 70 to 80% of the Gulf states is powered by natural gas power stations. That includes the power stations within Israel, oil and gas industry across the region. They're going to go lights out, scorched earth. And we're talking about 45 hours. And the messaging was very unambiguous and it is very temporally bound. Donald Trump specified that if this doesn't happen to the minute within 48 hours, we are going to end your power grid. And he specified that it would be only a half an hour. Now, is he talking about a cyber attack? Is he talking about an EMP? Is he talking about kinetic attacks? Are there sleeper cells on the ground in Iran? These are all questions that, of course, are going to need answers. This could be something hinting at the use of nuclear weapons in the form of high altitude, low radiation weapons that could essentially bring down the power grid. And the Iranians are saying, well, we have some secret weapons too that can bring down the entirety of the grid in the same period of time. So are we seeing veiled nuclear threats here back and forth? I mean, are the markets just going to completely crash next week? And is oil going to go to $500 a barrel? Because you need to understand something. The Saudis have expelled all Iranian diplomats. They've given them a 24-hour window to get out of the country. That is really the biggest news of the day, because that means that Saudis are about to enter the war. And when that happens, the Houthis are going to enter the war, and they're going to enter it asymmetrically, and they're going to start.
And they've already admitted to as much. Okay, they've already stated as much. Okay, threatening Iran. Okay, and you know, all right, let's keep her moving. All right. This is an important key point, right? We've got our red string, all right? We've got our dots, okay? This is important context that we need to go over to help fulfill the picture that we're trying to, the idea, what we're trying to get here, all right?
On with Ali Hashem. So, Ali, we now have this standoff. The U.S. president telling Iranians, you have 48 hours to open the Strait of Hormuz, or I will blow up your power plants, starting with the biggest and most important one. Iran has responded, and it seems that they have no intention of doing what the U.S. president is asking of them. Can you walk us through the response that you have seen from Iran over the last few hours?
Well, Cyril, in the middle of this war, it seems that another war is going on, which is the war of rhetorics and narratives. And with President Trump raising the stake, the Iranians are responding with more confrontational rhetoric. And it's clear now that there is a unified position here, because we're hearing, after we heard from the armed forces, we heard from the Speaker of the Parliament, and now the Vice President, they're all on the same point. The moment the power plants in Iran are going to be hit, the whole region will go for a blackout. And more than that, the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed, and it won't be open except these plants were rebuilt according to the armed forces. Now, with respect to the other authorities here in the country, like the vice president, he tried to defend Iran's position, saying that this is self-defense and that Iran is under the aggression, and that's why it will be self-defending itself by launching attacks against regional power plants and, of course, Israel. So this is the picture in general with respect.
Kind of hard to understand with the accent, but essentially we're threatening desalination plants, energy plants. It sounds mostly like power plants, okay? So we're going to knock out their power, okay? And that is detrimental because that's not the kind of thing that you can just prop back up immediately, even within a year. Okay, that's a big deal, especially depending on what scale of destruction we're talking about here. Because, I mean, to start from scratch, it's a whole nother story, much less repair. You know, it's not like we're talking small arms fire, okay? Do B12, it's good to see you over there on the Rumble chat, brother. Brofist. Mars, what's up? Good to see you. And it's good to see you over there on the Rumble chat, guys, because I'll be honest, you guys are ahead of the game, okay, because this YouTube live stream will end, okay, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty over on Rumble. So I highly encourage you guys to grab that link down in the description to follow us over on Rumble. And shout out to you guys who already have, okay? I see you. I don't know if you want to be shouted out, but I see you, and I appreciate you for being over there. All right, let's move along here. Breaking. Trump says you'll find out what's gonna happen. You'll find out what's gonna happen regarding his 48-hour Iran ultimatum that ends tomorrow night. Okay, I don't know. We've got a good idea, right? At this point for context, but honestly, this type of situation is so hyperbolic in my mind that we could really see things ramp up. Okay. All right. So this is just some market reaction here. No need to panic. I'm just putting this on your radar, right? We all deserve to know. Just in, gold crashes under 43.50 an ounce, I guess. Over 1 trillion wiped out from its market cap in 3 hours. Okay. So honestly, you could look at this as a benefit. Now is the time to buy gold. Okay. And we're not sponsored by anybody, right? Now's the time to have a sponsor, but, let's just say if I had a little bit of chump change, I might put it into some gold. Now's the time. Buy low, sell high. So that's the story with gold. Gold erased almost all gains of this year and is now only 2% up. Everyone is confused. They should not be. Here's exactly what happened. When oil spikes violently, market markers and commodity funds need more margin capital to hold their oil positions. Okay, I'm just reading this guy's comment. The bigger the oil move, the more cash they need immediately. Where do they find that cash fast? They sell gold and silver, the most liquid commodity contracts in the world. You can sell 500 million of gold in minutes without moving the market. This is not fear selling gold. This is mechanical rebalancing. Okay. So now we have stepped outside of the depths of my knowledge. Okay. So I hope for the smarter folks out there that put something together for you. A little bit of news here. Breaking U.S. benchmark crude oil tops $100 a barrel. Brent up 1.7% to $113.44 a barrel. So that's what's going on with oil right now. All right, back into some of the conflict here. This is not a joke. During a serious discussion on the U.S. Israel-Iran war, Pakistan's senior defense strategist Abdul Basit said, if America attacks Pakistan, we will nuke India. Okay. All right. So folks talking about nukes is what I'm talking about. Okay. Huh? Let's see. We have a video released by the IRGC. Warehouses filled with air defense missiles. I'm sure we can't use that music, okay? But what we're seeing here is crates on crates. And they don't look like old crates. And the other thing is this seems to be some sort of underground tunnel facility. Just looking at its layout, basically it's I don't know if you want to call that architecture. It basically looks like a fortified hole in the ground. But all right. They are flexing. We also have remarks from their military leadership, their command. And they look at this. Okay. Another point that we'll make in the Rumble section when we get into the nitty gritty, is that Bob, empty crates, paper tiger. We'll have to see, man. They gloat, about taking down, our aircraft. Let's see what we got any. Yeah, they're definitely gloating about taking down the F-35. Like that is a big deal in comparison to how much, absolute devastation is going on in Iran against the IRGC. One plane, one jet is what you've gotten so far. And all right. So this is an update on the troop movement. Breaking around 4,500 U.S. sailors and Marines are now being deployed to the Middle East, including an infantry battalion landing team backed by helicopters, F-35 fighter jets, and armored amphibious vehicles. Gons from Face Like the Sun here is a good dude. He says, is this in addition to the 7,500 Marines deployed last week? That's a good question. And I'm running through this because there's a ton to get to. Like I said, there's like a whole nother show that you're going to miss if you're not over on Rumble when the YouTube live ends. Okay. A ton of information that is extremely relevant to what's going on right now. All right. So this is Lindsey Graham. Okay. It says he is prepared to sacrifice the lives of as many U.S. soldiers as necessary to gain control of Iran's oil. Let's see. I don't know if he says that, but that's what that person said.
Here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Carg Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil. Control that island. Let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Carg Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground? Let me just read you something from The Atlantic. Does an assessment on that. They say U.S. troops may well take Carg Island. We believe their ability to do so, but only to endure ballistic missile strikes, drone attacks, petrochemical smoke, all without a reliable means of obtaining logistical support. The result could be a grinding war of attrition. They talk about how far away they would be from resupply.
I'm sort of tired of all this armchair quarterbacking. This has been an amazing military operation. God bless the fallen.
But it's a difference when we talk about troops on the ground.
I trust the Marines, not that guy. I trust DOD. We got 2 Marine expeditionary units sailing to this island. We did Iwo Jima. We can do this. The Marines, my money is always on the Marines. I don't know if you take the island or you blockade the island, but I know this. The day we control that island, this regime, this terrorist regime, has been weakened. It will die on a vine. And here's...
That's the rhetoric. That's the rhetoric, okay? A little bloodthirsty, I don't know. Oil thirsty for sure, and they're willing to pay blood for it. Let's see. Breaking, NATO chief Root now says he is absolutely convinced the alliance will be able to secure the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. Let's see. This is from Polymarket. 34% chance Hormuz traffic returns to normal by the end of next month. Yep. It's at 40% now. Okay, I just checked Polymarket. Here, I'll show you guys. All right. It's at a 40% chance. 40% chance is what people are betting for a 41-cent bet. All right. This is not, you know what I'm trying to say here. This is a betting data, right? This is just a gist, not necessarily solid info here, which I'm sure you get by now. All right. Let's keep it moving. U.S. tells Israel Iran war extended by weeks. Plans for Strait of Hormuz will take weeks. Okay. And these are some of the words from the IRGC spokesman is mocking President Trump.
You are familiar with this sentence.
Hold on. It's hard to understand because of the accent. I guess English isn't his first language.
Hey, Trump, you are fired. You are
Trump, you are fired. Okay. You are familiar with this sentence.
You are familiar with this sentence. Thank you for your attention to this matter. The central headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya.
Central headquarters of Hapalalabla. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said. You know, I got some of the English. Okay. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm speed running this information. Dude, the mimetic warfare is just, I descrambled the Persian filter. Dude, AI, what's it going to do, man? Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Indy, what's up? Good to see you, Independent Mini. Russia, just in. Russia says the war in the Middle East is heading toward escalation. Okay. Let's see here. Iran didn't threaten to attack Paris. Iran didn't threaten to attack Berlin. Iran didn't threaten to attack Rome. But now Israel is suggesting that Paris, Berlin, and Rome could be Iran's next targets. Well, guess what? All right. Just in, Iranian parliament speaker says financial entities that finance the U.S. military budget are legitimate targets. So the Iranian parliament speaker is essentially saying that, you know, those who are financing the U.S. military are legitimate targets. Does that sound like they're going to back down in 24 hours? U.S. Treasury bonds are soaked in Iranians' blood. Purchase them, and you purchase a strike on your HQ and assets. We monitor your portfolios. This is your final notice. U.S. Treasury bonds are soaked in Iranians' blood. Purchase them, and you purchase a strike on your headquarters or HQ and assets. We monitor your portfolios. This is your final notice. That's the name of their game, making people do stuff out of fear. That's the name of the game. Okay, I just want to show you this here, guys. And for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, you're going to see a lot more. You're going to understand a lot more about this than others, okay? This is exoatmospheric interception of Iran's ballistic missile over Israel. You tell me what it looks like. I can tell you what that looks like to me, but I won't do it here. I'll do it on Rumble. Okay? And if you want to know what I think, you better go over and Rumble and ask me. Oh, it's very clear what that is. It's very clear. Moving. We got a lot to get to. I-24 News says senior American officials have communicated to counterparts in Israel that U.S. may be forced to launch ground operation to capture Karg Island, Iran's primary oil export terminal in the northern Persian Gulf.
Out of Israel's I-24 News on March 22nd of 2026, they cited two separate sources that were senior American officials who recently communicated to counterparts in Israel and other allied partner countries that the United States may be forced to launch a ground operation to capture Karg Island, which is Iran's primary oil export terminal in the northern Persian Gulf. Now, apparently the discussions within the U.S. administration have raised option of a land occupation or a seizure of the island as part of one of several contingencies that they may be taking action on. Now, Karg Island, like we've talked about before, handles approximately 90% to 95% of all of Iran's crude oil exports, which makes it a pretty critical economic lifeline for the regime. Capturing or controlling it could severely disrupt Iran's oil revenue without necessarily destroying the infrastructure, which the U.S. has so far tried to avoid in strikes. Now, this comes after the 90-plus military sites on the island that were struck by U.S. military airstrikes on March 13th and 14th of 2026, while they deliberately avoided the oil export facilities. Apparently, these officials that talked to I-24 News said that the situation has been described as, quote, anything is possible, and several options are on the table, with the ground operation framed as a potential necessity if Iran continues blocking or threatening the Strait of Hormuz or escalates further. Now, this is in addition to the 48-hour warning on power plants, like the ultimatum that President Trump issued out on his post on True Social on the 21st of March of 2026. But all that being said, there's been no official U.S. confirmation of this that's been issued, and President Trump has kept all the options open while emphasizing that there's no firm decision on ground troops at this time.
All right. And just to clarify, Doobie, he's like, what are you talking about? I'm already over here on Rumble. Well, when the YouTube live stream ends, then, okay, we open up into, a YouTube policy guideline free speech area, okay, where we can speak more freely, okay? All right. So we're moving from that report and we're moving on in, okay? Now, this is like with a grain of salt, not trying to fearmonger, just listen, I'm just going to listen with an open mind.
The war in Iran has officially gone nuclear. So, in the last 48 hours, Israel had struck a nuclear power plant in Iran. In response, Iran struck a nuclear power plant in Israel. Now, at the exact same time, the World Health Organization is preparing for nuclear strikes. They put out a statement and they put out a couple different things teaching people how to handle if you get nuked. But things get a lot weirder than that. The IDF claims they knew nothing about the strikes on Iran's nuclear power plant. Now, this happened immediately after Israel struck an oil field in Iran. Supposedly, Trump was mad at Netanyahu for doing this, and Trump claims he knew nothing of the strike. He didn't know it was going to happen whatsoever. Israel is refuting that claim, saying Trump was actually involved in the strike and told him to do it. That situation's really hard to deal with because it's like, which liar do you take the truth from? But for the worst part about this situation, we have 48 hours before this war gets extremely messy and extremely disgusting. Of course, war is not a pretty sight, and even the videos coming out of Israel showing the people of Israel being blown into pieces, I don't like seeing these things. It's gross, it's disgusting, but the Zionists brought this upon themselves. They chose this, they made this decision when they killed the president of Iran. I have friends in the area, people that I've gotten really close with, that leak me videos of everything going on in the Middle East. I've set up communication with them on Telegram and a couple couple other places. So I have firsthand videos of what's going on over there. And I can tell you guys, after the next 48 hours, things are going to get very disgusting. This war is going to be ramped up. In the United States and in the West, we are not being told the full story, and we are not being told how bad things are about to get. There's warnings being issued in these countries that we are not getting over here.
Okay. All right. So regardless of what you think, that isn't totally incorrect. Okay. Lindsey Graham, I told the president to take Carg Island. Let's see. Is this the correct? We may have already shown that.
Graham has been obliterated, and they're running out of money. So here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Carg Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil. Control that island. Let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Carg Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground? Let me just read you something from the Atlantic. Does an assessment on that. They say U.S. troops may well take Carg Island. We believe their ability to do so, but only to endure ballistic missile strikes, drone attacks, petrochemical smoke, all without a reliable means of obtaining logistical support. The result could be a grinding war of attrition. They talk about how far away they would be from resupply.
I'm sort of tired of all this armchair quarterback, and this has been an amazing military operation. God bless the fallen.
But it's a difference when we talk about troops on the ground.
I trust the Marines, not that guy. I trust DOD. We got 2 Marine expeditionary units sailing to this island. We did Iwo Jima. We can do this. The Marines, my money is always on the Marines. I don't know if you take the island or you blockade the island, but I know this. The day we control that island, this regime, this terrorist regime, has been weakened. It will die on a vine. And here's what I want to do. I want to get with Chris. I want to sprint to peace. As the war winds down, I want peace to ramp up. The reason we don't have Saudi Arabia and Israel making peace is October the 7th, 2023. Iran, through Hamas, attacked Israel, stopping normalization. I want to take up and complete what Biden started. As soon as we get Iran defanged so they can never do another October 7th, I want to start up peace talks between Saudi and Israel this year. I want a peace deal between Saudi and Israel normalizing, ending the Arab-Israeli conflict. It's been going on for 2,000 years this year, and you can't do it with a lethal Iran. So we're weeks away from this Iranian regime not having the capability to stop peace.
Okay, very quickly, though, because...
All right. That's exactly right, Lone Silencer. That's exactly right. Let's see. Check this out. Ted Cruz, I urged the president to launch this attack.
Sure. Look, I urged the president to launch this attack. As you noted, I was with him pretty much the entire day on Friday before the attack launched on Saturday. And so we were on Air Force One. We were flying down to Texas to Corpus Christi at a big event planned in Corpus Christi. So I was on the plane with him. And then he asked me to hop in the Beast, the presidential limo, and it was just the two of us one-on-one. And pretty much the whole time he was asking me what I thought we should do on Iran. And I said, look, I think we should not miss this moment. I think the regime is weaker than it ever has been. And we have an opportunity. If we can collapse this regime, America will be much, much safer. There are very few things on planet Earth that would do more to improve American national security as much as seeing this regime collapse. And sure.
Ted is now reminding me of Michael Scott taking the fall for Sabre. Like he said, 2,000 years this has been going on. Kind of makes you think, was it going on before Israel preemptively struck? You know what I mean? I don't know. It was going on, but I'm not going to get into that here on this YouTube side. We'll talk about it on the Rumble side. Let's keep her moving here. Breaking, U.S. State Department advises Americans worldwide to exercise increased caution amid Middle East war. All right, worldwide caution, security alert, March 22nd, 2026. The Department of State advises Americans worldwide to exercise increased caution. So does that mean worldwide except for America? Or would that might include us as well? Worldwide, right? All right, location. Worldwide. Event. The Department of State advises Americans worldwide, and especially in the Middle East, to exercise increased caution. Americans abroad should follow the guidance and security alerts issued by the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. Periodic airspace closures may cause travel disruptions. U.S. diplomatic facilities, including outside the Middle East, have been targeted. Groups supportive of Iran may target other U.S. interests overseas or locations associated with the U.S. and or Americans throughout the world. That's if you can read between the lines, okay, guys. All right, let's keep her moving. This is new. UN agencies warn up to 45 million people could face extreme hunger if the war with Iran continues. Okay. In other news, because this is about to become a relevant topic for us, we're about to start talking about airports for just a second. Let's see. ICE is officially set to deploy operations at least 14 major airports across the United States starting tomorrow morning. Okay. All right. So everyone's like, woo, amen. Okay. Give me just a second here. Let me think. All right. This is officially, we're going to start segmenting. We're not going to Rumble yet. All right. This is just a chance to say thank you so much for joining tonight with us and hanging out with us, going through this information. It's important. It's pertinent. I'm glad to have you guys with us. As always, guys, grab this URL. Okay. Word of mouth is still the most powerful form of advertising. And I'll be honest, with where we are in the algorithm, we need all the help that we can get. So I urge you, I humbly request your help. Grab this link, drop it in a group chat, drop it in the Discord, share it out, click the share button, smash like if you haven't already. Help support the podcast, especially with the algorithm, and just let us know that you like it if you like it. Okay, if you appreciate this content. Let me see. We have a whole nother segment here to get into where we begin to touch briefly on what we think is safe as far as the nitty-gritty goes. Okay, we're going to start talking about, let me pull it up here. You know what? I'm going to move this back. Okay. All right, this is what we'll do. All right, like I was saying, airports, right? You know ICE is going to be there. All right. Okay. This is just showing, it's ongoing with the government and the state that it's in, as far as, is the Department of Homeland Security still down? Okay. So, TSA agents basically aren't getting paid. This video here, just in case you thought it wasn't enough, here's a video from Houston Airport showing the line sneaking around the entire airport. What happens at Bush Intercontinental Airport when there are 0 TSA agents? I'm not sure if the music is safe for YouTube, but it's safe on Rumble. Okay, let's see. All right. Not looking good for the airports. Okay, this is a little bit of a concept that I think that we might have to start dealing with. It's an interesting thought. Let me see. Get all this together. You would think we had so much. It's just all over the place. Lockdown 2.0. Okay.
Listen up. Here comes the energy lockdowns. Fuel stations run out of diesel across Australia. Waiting for days, India feels impact of gas supply chain disruption. Vietnam braces for flight cuts from April after China and Thailand ban jet fuel exports. Iran war ignites African race to keep gas pumps flowing. And another article that we all need to be paying attention to, what soaring diesel costs amid war with Iran mean for meat, vegetable and fruit prices. So why is there an energy lockdown coming? The IEA now wants alternating license plate restrictions, which means you will not be allowed to be on the roads on certain days. They're also talking about reducing all road speed limits everywhere so that traveling by road is increasingly suffocating and slow. Let's go over their 10 recommended measures. Number 1, work from home. That sounds familiar. Number 2, reduce highway speed limits. Number 3, shift to public transport. Number 4, increasing carpooling. Number 5, adopt more efficient driving practices. Number 6, car-free Sundays or alternating license plate restrictions. Number 7, improve fleet efficiency. Number 8, avoid non-essential air travel. Number 9, switch to electric or modern cooking solutions. And number 10, leverage flexibility in petrochemical feedstocks. Welcome to the Great Reset. And yes, this was all planned. And I'm telling you, every world leader, every one of them is playing their part for this to happen.
Make sure you come on over to Rumble, guys. Okay, it's going to put a lot more of this together. All right. All right, and that is Itty Bitty. That's the name of this X account.
Listen up.
If you're interested in her content, she's got some pretty good stuff. She seems to be pretty in tune. And you remember either last stream or the stream before last, we had multiple reports of people talking about something being different about the fuel. Some even reporting that it smells different or doesn't smell at all. Well, I have another little thing here. All right, specifically talking about fuel. I think it has something to do with Lockdown 2.0. I think it has something to do with this energy situation going on. Whether or not this guy's right, we should hear him out.
I want to do a follow-up video about how my car is using twice as much gas as it was before we started this war with Iran. Now, you can all call me crazy and say there ain't no way possible. They're not putting water in the gas. They're doing something, okay? They're doing something. I drive a lot. I drive an hour to work. I drive an hour home from work. I fill my tank twice every week. It used to be $30 to fill it, so $30. And then on Wednesday, I fill it again. That lasts me the rest of the week. I fill my tank twice. Since this war in Iran started and the prices jumped up, now I fill my tank Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night. I fill it at the same time. It's about an eighth of the tank, eighth of the way, an eighth of a tank, and I fill it all the way till it clicks. The same gas station. The only difference is the fucking gas is more expensive. So you tell me I'm crazy? Why is my car burning more gas? The only logical explanation I can come up with is that there's either water in the gas, because I notice my car doesn't run as smooth as it did before. It doesn't idle the way it did before. And sometimes I swear to God, I stop and it almost sounds like my car is going to stall. Now I have a Toyota, it's reliable, it's never broke down. It runs good, hasn't broke down yet. But what I want to know is, why is my car going through the gas quicker? It's pretty easy to explain when I go from 2 tanks to 3 tanks, when I drive the same distance every single week for years. So you tell me what's up. Not only is it per gallon costing me more, now I got to put a whole nother fucking tank of fuel in my car. But why? Can someone explain this to me? Is there like magical gas, like a vapor that they put in it? Is it water? Is it like a cheaper version? Somebody tell me, because I don't know what the hell's going on. But no, I'm not losing my mind. This is the truth. 2 tanks to 3 tanks in a week.
Hey, maybe there's nothing to it. You know, I'm just keeping my ear to the ground. Okay, maybe he's wrong. Maybe there's nothing to it. But I tell you what, we can all maybe agree with and see ourselves is the grocery store.
This economy is so bad. $33 for toilet paper? We can't even afford to shit.
Like, are we dead serious right now? Like, are we dead ass? Is this real life?
Look at that. You gotta be fucking kidding us, Ruffles.
A regular Coke, 3 for $20.97. Like, actual soda, $21.
What the fuck? Used to get a whole cup.
$13.99? $14?
for a gallon of orange juice? Y'all must be out of y'all.
For 2 pounds of lunch meat, $23. How the hell we supposed to feed our kids on this crap?
Truly, look at this. Look how small this pack is. Seriously, that fits like in my palm. Crazy.
The grocery stores are like, it looked like it haven't even been touched.
Thank you so much for dropping that link right there, Anti. Go check out our friends, our unspecified friends, Independent Mini United. Not so unspecified, I guess. Specifically, okay. Go check out our specified friends, okay. That's the link right there to the YouTube and the Rumble channel, okay. Excellent panel, excellent music, good time, good community. Go check Independent Mini United's channel out. Let's see what this guy is saying. So now people are on about energy lockdowns because of what is going on. Another way to keep us locked up in our homes. Let's see.
Okay, it looks like we've got another lockdown coming, and this time it's not like the one we had in 2020. This time it's different, and honestly, I think it's a lot worse because this time, you know, no one's going to stand there and tell you to stay inside. No one's going to say don't leave your house. But, you know, the fuel prices are going up, the electric's going to go up, the food is going to go up, and all of a sudden, you're not going to be able to go out as much. You're not going to be able to drive as much. You know, you're not living how you used to, not because you've been told to, but because life is literally now unaffordable, right? That is going to be the difference, but it is going to happen. This lockdown is coming, and it's going to be very quiet, right? It's going to creep in, and before you even clock it, your whole lifestyle is going to be changed. And we've already seen this happening, haven't we, right now? Like, if you just go and look at the likes of, let's say, you know, Japan, they're already holding down a lot of the fuel right now. You've got South Korea that are rationing fuel, Bangladesh, Philippines, all of them are rationing. Australia, their government is telling people to avoid non-essential journeys right now. This is exactly what they said in COVID, right? Avoid non-essential travel, work from home, only go out for essential purposes. You know, in 2020, they called it health measure, but now in 2026, they're gonna call it sort of like energy measures. Ultimately, you know, they won't need to lock you down this time because you'll probably be doing it yourself and you won't even realize. But obviously, as always, beautiful people, this was just for entertainment. I'm about to go live if you want to come and have a little chat with me live on Facebook. Big love to you all, and I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
Bob says, I won't comply, just like last lockdown. And that's going to be a lot of people's sentiment. Whoa. Okay. Apparently, we just had some breaking news come through before we continue in this economic discussion here. I don't have it right here in front of me. Let me see your phone. While I work on this link, a mass casualty incident has been declared after a jet had collided with a fire truck. Numerous injuries have been reported. At this time, emergency crews and officials have declared a mass casualty incident after a jet collided with a fire truck at LaGuardia Airport in Queens, New York. The aircraft struck the vehicle on the runway, triggering a major emergency response. Multiple injuries have been reported following the incident, with unconfirmed reports of fatalities at this time. At least an Air Canada Express CRJ 900 was involved, carrying approximately 100 souls on board. While 5 first responders were in the fire truck, multiple agencies are on scene with crews actively conducting resources, triaging victims, and transporting the injured to nearby hospitals. Authorities are working to secure the area as the situation remains active and developing. All flights are being deferred to JFK. Give me just a second. Yeah. Okay. We've got it here. Just put this on your radar real quick. This is everything I just read.
It was on the ground on the nose. As they're deplaning, it just lifted in the air. Holy. Another night in this shit.
Okay. Well, that's a little bit of breaking news there. Especially with everything else going on. It does kind of make you go, Watchman for You says Pete Hegseth said they are deploying National Guard in all 50 states in April for civil unrest. Well, we'll just have to see. I don't know if that's confirmed anywhere. Do you have a source for that, Watchman? Just curious. All right. Switching gears, guys. We were talking about the economy. All right. Let's see. Let's listen to this lady here.
I have bad economic news for you, and then I have worse economics for you. I did a post last month reporting January 2026 home foreclosure numbers, and the articles labeled them as a, quote, foreclosure bloodbath, end quote, and said that home foreclosures in the United States were going to get worse. Well, today is March 14th, 2026, and I have February home foreclosure numbers. Hi, my name's Christina. I have a master's degree in business. And if you find this post sad but informative, please like, comment, follow, and share. It is extremely important that you know what is going on in the U.S. economy because it does affect you personally. In January, it was over 42,000 homes that were foreclosed on, which is the highest it had been in years. February 2026, 40,534 properties were foreclosed on in the United States in 2026. The top two states are Nevada and Delaware. Florida is also in a top foreclosure area. That is over 92,000 homes closed just in 2 months in 2026. If you think, that doesn't sound so bad, or Biden did it. No, foreclosures are people who couldn't pay 120 days. That means it's a Trump issue. It also means it's because people have lost their jobs, they're underemployed, or they're 1 in 4 people that have been unemployed for 27 weeks or longer. Expect every single month to have high home foreclosure rates. This is a direct sign of an economy collapsing. These were before the U.S. versus Iran war.
Okay. So just, like I said, guys, we got our red string, we've got our dots. All right, that's what this is about, okay? We're putting the data in front of you guys so you can make your own informed decisions. Unfortunately, we can only put so much in front of you because of what YouTube and their policies and their guidelines deem, you know what I'm trying to say, allowable. Okay, so come on over to Rumble after if you want some more truth or you want to get to the bottom of what's going on. This is a warning about the weather.
The United States is about to get a blizzard, a polar vortex, a heat dome, and an atmospheric river all at once. The entire country, all of the United States, every one of our 50 states is about to get hit with extreme weather all at the same time. This is not just one region. This is not just one storm. A top meteorologist has said that every one of our 50 states is about to get hit with extreme weather conditions. Hawaii is getting hit with something called an atmospheric river, which is this channel of massive water just absolutely pummeling Hawaii. Today, March 18th, Phoenix just shattered a record, hitting 101 degrees. That is the earliest 100-degree plus day in the 137 years of recorded history. At the same time, there are 52 inches of snow on the ground in northern Michigan as the result of what is known as a bomb cyclone. Here in Las Vegas, we hit an all-time March record of 94 degrees. North Shore, California hit 108 degrees. That is the highest recorded temperature ever in the month of March. In Michigan, 52 inches of snow is 4.3 feet of snow. It has resulted in 400,000 people losing power. The Southwest is largely experiencing this heat dome, so you have this atmospheric river with water flooding in Hawaii. You have snow in some parts of the country, a blizzard, 52 inches of snow. It's all happening at the same time. I understand that the world is in a lot of sort of chaos right now, but this is all our shared planet, our shared resources. And the records are telling us that these extremes are all happening all at once. What we are seeing is mass climate events all over the country, and the realization that our cities apparently have not been effectively managed for this. This is all of our place, all of our planet, and all of our climate, and it deserves our attention.
Yeah, I hear you, Sergeant Greenleaf, and I'm not trying to be a fearmonger by any means, or a doomer or anything. And he says, the builders aren't stopping. But if we stop and think about, who is commissioning the builders en masse at this point in the economy, and that's going to be corporations like BlackRock and other large, they're playing a game here. We'll get more into that in the Rumble section. Let's go ahead and all right, let's see what she has to say.
So I'm going to have to do the podcast tomorrow around 2 because I got called out for work again, and I'm just going to wake up early. I don't care. Night shift. It's not working because I think I'm not going to get called out. Then I got called out. But a lot of you were saying you guys want to actually know what the entire UN agenda is. You see, UN agenda, the 2021 and the 2030, they're just breakdowns of their final goal. And their final goal is something called Agenda 2050. And then in Agenda 2050, it basically tells you what they want for humanity, including North America and Europe and everywhere else. And then they broke down that main plan into smaller steps, such as Agenda 2021 and Agenda 2030. And the reason why they're using NGOs and not governments is because NGOs are non-government organizations that can get away with a lot more criminal activity than the government would. So it's basically like a tentacle of the cabal of the shadow government and what they're actually doing to us. And then they also have to train us mentally in order to get us prepared, which is why I think this entire fear-mongering that we're going into a climate lockdown because of the Iran-Qatar thing taking out 20% of the oil field reserves in the world. However, I don't know if you guys remember, but during the Ukraine, the prices went up that high, and the government of Canada said it was a carbon tax and it was to save the environment, and that we would get that money back. And so apparently when Ukraine and Russia were at it, it was fine that the oil prices were that high because, the government convinced everybody that they were helping. But apparently now, because it's Iran and somebody else and the gas prices are going up, they have seemed to have forgotten that. So it's just fear-mongering. And it's fear-mongering because they want you in that state of mind of, oh, we're going into a lockdown. Oh, it can happen at any minute. Oh, this. Right now, with the way the state is, if they were to do a lockdown, they would have a massive, massive pushback, and they don't want that because they're already losing in quite certain areas of their grip on the plans that they're already trying to do, and the mess that they created in 2020 will not allow them to have a lockdown anytime soon. They're going to have to wait until people are kind of calmed down, and also certain provisions are being put in place so that they can actually lock us down and then punish us monetary-wise or digital ID-wise if we actually were to revolt and stand up against them.
Right. But like Watchman was saying, dude, great looking out. I grabbed that link. Deployed in all 50 states by April, Pete Hegseth confirms military response force to stomp out civil unrest coming soon. I wonder why there would be civil unrest. These troopers are sure going to kick up a storm. Lord help us. Like many of you, I'll be glad to see the back of 2025. It's been a nightmarishly year for America, with the second Trump administration going beyond even the most pessimistic predictions for cruelty, brutality, and outright stupidity. Look, boy, we're going to be seeing. We're going to be. The division is so great at this point. We're definitely in a setup. We're going to change gears here. We're going to go into the Word. Make sure that you follow us over on Rumble or X. Okay, at Still Specific on X, Unspecified Podcast on Rumble. The links can be found in the description. After this section, we will be transitioning. The YouTube Live will be ending. And I'd like to see you over there. Okay, I want you to have all the data. All right. How old is the Earth?
Hey, how old is the Earth? Scientifically or biblically? I guess both. Biblically, around 6,000 to 10,000 years old. Okay, and scientifically? No older than 60,000. What? Then why do scientists say that it's like 14 billion years old? Well, that's not science, that's religion. No, that's what science says. No, that's what presuppositional circular reasoning based on a guess will tell you. What do you mean? Scientifically, the Earth cannot be older than 60,000 years old. How so? Assuming a constant rate of decay and therefore entropy, with something like carbon-14, we would eventually see it reach an equilibrium, which for carbon-14 having a half-life of 5,730 years, that would line up somewhere between 30,000 and 57,000 years. We're not close to an equilibrium yet, which means that that equilibrium has yet to be reached. Therefore, the Earth cannot exceed 60,000 years scientifically. Wait, then what does carbon dating prove? Carbon dating only actually proves that the Earth isn't nearly as old as they want to pretend it is. Well, why would they want to pretend that it's older? To remove God from the equation. Why? Well, if God created everything, then that means there is an objective morality, and they don't like that. But how would it being older mean that there is no God? Well, because everything that we see can either be explained by the Bible or billions and billions of years. Like what? Well, like, you know the sedimentary layers that they use to date fossils? Yeah. Well, either those are a result of millions of years of erosion over a vast amount of different weather environments, or there was a catastrophic global flood that would have done that within weeks or months. Okay, but wouldn't it be easier to assume using the long time frame standpoint? Well, whenever you see a petrified tree that is standing vertically between those sedimentary layers, and we see them cross various layers, meaning that that tree, even if we date it to be 100 years old, it has to be millions of years old in order to have grown vertically through multiple layers of the sediments. What else? Well, if the Earth is less than 10,000 years, then that means that God created every different kind of creature at the same time. And in opposition to that, evolution, which would require billions of years and require that the law of entropy does not exist. How so? Because entropy is a proven law. It is the second law of thermodynamics, and that means that everything will decay, that it will get worse over time, which is the exact opposite of evolution, which says that everything will somehow get bigger, better, smarter, brighter as a result of death. So it really isn't scientific to claim that the Earth is billions of years old. No, it's very religious, but they try to view their science from the perspective of that religion, while at the same time trying to pretend that it's not a religion.
Right. If you think about it, it takes faith on both ends. Whether you're an evolutionist that believes millions and billions, or you believe an all-powerful, almighty God created everything within 7 days. But both require faith. That's the point. You got to have faith. All right. The evidence of things hoped for. You know what I mean? So he's kind of right about that. Okay. There's something going on in this country.
There's something going on in this country, and I don't feel qualified to talk about it, but hey, that's never stopped me. Lord help me. There's two different Jesuses. There's Yeshua. And then there's whatever this is. And that. And this. There's that. And that's going to deceive many, because it looks like a Jesus fad. Oh, Jesus just love everybody, and we can just do what we want to, and kumbaya, and la-di-da. No, that ain't never been the case. You repent. You turn from your sin. And he makes you new. Changes you from the inside out. It ain't about condemning or judging. It's of course about loving. But there's a difference when you know him and when you don't.
Count, bro. I highly suggest, if you have any time, any spare time, man, go check out Dr. Kent Hovind. Any of his debates that he's done with the highest Ivy League professors, or any of his seminars, all of it is edifying and awesome. I highly suggest it. And even if you don't agree, you might find something interesting. All right.
A sister goes off speaking about gossiping and people who find themselves in gossiping circles, and how easy it is for the devil to infiltrate those circles. Check this clip out.
It is so against gossip and slander because it is divisive. It only takes dialogue and suggestion. That's all Satan needs. This may not be omnipresent, but whenever we start gossiping in rooms, all he has to do is have one of his agents there. Oh, I really don't even have to exploit what you all are doing. I can just exploit the environment. Wow. That's all I need. So at that point, what I started to see while I was being scandalized and slandered was these people are giving the devil a foothold. The word tells us to stay away from divisive people. When you think about the 7 abominations, haughty eyes, a proud look, lips, a tongue that lie.
Come on.
Hands that shed innocent blood, heart that devises wicked plans, feet that run to do evil, a false witness that spread lies, and one who sows division and discord amongst the brethren. If you map that out, at least 5 of those go right back to gossip. Look how, for us to serve such a relational God. Wow. We serve such a relational God that you came in as if you destroyed relationships. You assassinated my character. That is shedding innocent blood on your hands. You assassinated my character. Know that in a moment it feels empowering when you can talk about people. That's what gossip is. It is a counterfeit intimacy. That's all that it is. It is a counterfeit intimacy where people pretty much connect on hate for other people, a disliking, and exclusion. There's a moral exclusion that takes place. That's all that is.
Gossiping is dangerous and can destroy good things. You know, me myself, I had to cut somebody off that was pretty close to me a couple months ago because they were gossiping about myself. Now, I'm not saying hate somebody. I'm not saying dislike somebody, but sometimes you got to separate yourself from individuals. It doesn't mean you don't love them, but after one time, after 2 times, after 3 times, after multiple times, it's not even healthy for you to still be around. They may be dealing with something that they need deliverance from. So yes, gossiping is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Do not get caught up in it. Do not get caught up in those circles, because trust me when I tell you this, gossipers like to hang out with gossipers. They do. Or people who can listen to it. Don't get caught up in those circles.
What's up, Charm Life Lady? What's up? Watchman says, the laws of thermodynamics are not a theory. And by the first two laws, evolution cannot be true. We'll see.
Jesus was not a nice guy, and if you think he was, you don't know him. Jesus was good and just, but he wasn't always nice. Nice guys tell you what you want to hear. Jesus told people what they needed to hear. Nice guys avoid conflict. Jesus walked right into it. Jesus wasn't soft. He literally flipped tables. He rebuked religious leaders and called out sin. He never compromised truth to keep the peace. He wasn't nice. He was holy. He stood firm in righteousness, even if it got him crucified. Being good means standing for truth, even if it makes people feel uncomfortable. You've been preached a fake Jesus, definitely not the Jesus of the Bible, because Jesus didn't come to make people comfortable. He came to set them free. Jesus died on that cross so that we could be free from sin, not free to sin. Jesus.
Good stuff. Good stuff. How to preach the gospel to non-believers.
My best friend is agnostic, and we're constantly debating of like, how do we know that the God that I believe in is the actual, like, the real and existing God? What do you have to say to that? What should I say to him?
Agnosticism doesn't mean that you don't think God is real. It's just you don't know. So I think the first thing is have him read the Gospels. Have him look into it himself. You have to be open-minded to this stuff. So sometimes like debating's cool and all, but there's something beautiful about the love of Christ that draws people to him. My brother can push my buttons in 2 seconds, so it's super easy with people close to me to get frustrated easily. That's going, God, give me the strength to be gentle, kind, slow to speak, let me listen. Number 2, living it out like I told my brother over there. Number 3, loving and comforting him, being the warm blanket. Outside of the debates, do you show up for him in times of triumph? Do you show up for him when he needs a friend? Are you the first shoulder that he can lean on when he's going through a hard time? These things are going to draw him near. That's the radical love that Jesus offers. When you offer that to your friend, it's really going to go, dang, this guy must be super legit if he's influencing my best friend. And if you guys are best friends, he probably knows a lot of flaws about you, knows your past. When he sees what Christ is doing in your heart, he's going to go, dang, this guy must be legit. I got to look into him myself.
All right. What is our calling as children of God and image bearers? Is it to be successful?
The goal is not to stand before the Father and hear, well done, good and successful servant. Well done, good and influential servant. Well done, good and winsome servant. It's well done, good and faithful servant. And that's far simpler than I think we often give it to. And it's also far more of a high calling than we give it credit for. Because faithfulness is just waking up in the morning and saying, God, how can my day reflect your love, your truth, your unity to the beautiful yet broken world around me? The goal is not to stand before the Father and...
Amen.
It was Jesus who said, pay attention. If you love me, obey my commandments. The Lord attaches love to obedience. I read, I get hurt, I feel convicted. I said, dang it, I gotta ring out this thing in my life and obey it. So when I come to Jesus, man, if you look for the woman with lust, and I got lust in my heart, I said, dang it, man, I gotta keep ringing out this lust from my heart. He says, forgive the man, they raped me when I was 12. But I gotta let them go. I gotta wring out that unforgiveness in my heart. He says, be holy as I'm holy. But dang, my boyfriend been laying that pipe so good. But I'm gonna have to shut it down and wring out that sin from my heart. He said, but what if he leaves me? If he leaves you because he's not getting buns, he wasn't with you to begin with. It was Jesus.
I want you to pray for yourself. Lord, reveal yourself to me. Let me see you the way Isaiah saw you. Let me see myself for what I really am, a sinner in need of grace. Lord, give me a love for you where I will love you more than anything else in this life. I pray this over myself. Lord, I pray you would demolish every idol in my heart. Platforms, glory, money, stages, lights. Lord, everything in there that I love more than you, would you topple those idols in my heart? Would you break those chains off of my heart? Lord, would you fill up in my heart such a love for you that I would desire you more than anything else in this life, and that my worship to you will be true, pure, genuine. I will feel your presence and want to stay there. I will go into my secret place and want to stay there. I will look into the clouds and think about you. I'll be driving to work and my mind be on you. I'll be sitting at my desk and I'll be getting glimpses of you. I'll be reading the word and I'll be imagining you. I'll be walking my dog and I'll be thinking about you. I'll be in the park and I'll be listening to music about you. I'll be in church and lifting my hands to you. I'll be in church and singing songs to you. I'll be in church and shouting to you. I'll be in church and leaping for you.
And this will be our last clip here, YouTube.
This is the way the Lord is going to come in his second coming. Oh my goodness. Those who are against the Lord, oh my goodness, what are they going to do when Jesus comes in his majestic way? Oh wow. So now you can say, I don't care about Jesus. Yeah? I can assure you, my dear friend, and I pray that day doesn't come on you as a thief, because that day will come, and it's coming very soon. But I can assure you, when you see the Lord coming, it'll be too late. But when you see him in his majestic form, then definitely I can assure you, you will not say, I don't care about Jesus. You will beg him for mercy, but it will be too late, my dear friend. It will be too late. We need to repent while we have the time. While we have the time.
Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. Amen. Amen. All right, folks. All right. We have reached the point, okay? We love you, everybody on YouTube. The link for Rumble or X is down in the description, okay? It's the second, third link. It'll be right there, all right? Go click the link, hop on over to Rumble, hop on over to X, whatever you prefer, all right? I dislike it. That's how we get into the nitty-gritty. I don't love this. I don't love YouTube's policies, guidelines, and all that, guys. But in order to get into the nitty-gritty, all right, and still have a platform here on YouTube, this is how we have to do it, okay? So I highly encourage you guys to come hop on over. Other than that, guys, we love you. We thank you. And we will catch you on the flip side. Much love, YouTube. We'll see you out there. We'll see you out there. All right, YouTube. Everybody else, we're going to be on Rumble. Okay? Good night, YouTube.